Hello everybody, my name is Aizaruka Yamamoto and today I am reviewing the Pyotr Bagration, or however that's pronounced. Let's just call it the P-Bag. It's the new Tier 8 Russian cruiser. There are in fact two new Tier 8 Russian premium cruisers. Premium cruiser I should say. Being the P-Bag and the Ochakov. The Ochakov is a light cruiser, and the P-Bag is, well, technically a heavy cruiser, but it's more of a mix. It's got a 180mm armament and armor that floats somewhere in the middle of being light and heavy cruiser armor. We'll get to that later in the battle. But yeah, the guns, 180mm guns, will be familiar to anyone familiar with the Donskoy in particular, and they feel very familiar as well to the Moskva. So very favorable shell ballistics, a flat firing arc, very good range on the guns, 18.5 kilometers. With, well, somewhat mediocre damage output, not the highest damage per minute values, but good versatile use of both AP and high explosive shells. Using the correct ammo type is quite important, and if you don't choose the right type, yeah, that can end up costing you a lot of efficiency. But well, yeah, I mean, you can see that here. If you choose the wrong type, then you won't do too much. In addition to the guns, the P-Bag also has torpedoes. It has two quintuple torpedo launchers, so that's 5 at each side of the ship. With torpedoes that range 8 kilometers, they don't go very fast. Yeah, classical Russian torpedoes actually not very fast, don't deal too much damage, but they're useful for some close quarters action. Consumable wise, the P-Bag has the damage control party like all ships do, a hydroacoustic surge ranging 5 kilometers, unlike the 4 that's displayed on the minimap. It's actually 5. It will be corrected soon. And a heal. The heal comes on top of a base hit point pool of 42,000 hit points, which is already very favorable. Quite high, in fact, for a tier 8 cruiser. It's comparable with something like the Zal, which is a tier 10 ship. So it's really quite good. And the fact that you can heal up some damage is of course really convenient then. Now of course you still don't want to be eating hits like this through your nose. The reason you can take these hits through the nose is actually because the armor on the front is not that great, and especially at these ranges you'll get shells coming in through the deck and then into your citadel, and that with ships like this, so you kind of want to avoid that. Now in the starting of the battle here, I'm just sitting here trying to find a good opportunity to get a proper angle on someone. And this Pensacola is showing a nice broadside, but I don't quite manage to really punish him. And well, salvos like these, you would say that I should be able to citadel him, but oddly, yeah, I don't quite manage to. Yeah, so we're not really building up that much damage yet. The interesting thing now is that the Ashitaka is also wide broadside to us, and normally in most cruisers you'd be shooting high explosive at a target like this, especially at this 13 kilometer range. But Due to the high penetration on these 180mm Soviet guns, armor piercing is in fact a very good choice indeed, and you can see that we wrecked like 5000 hit point salvos, and that adds up damage quite quickly. Now unfortunately the Ashitaka is unspotted, quite remarkable for a battleship in that position. But there he pops up again and we can keep shooting at him. One of the things that's interesting about this ship right now is that it's actually quite useful for the Russian cruiser event. Using this cruiser you can get extra tokens to progress in the event. And in my opinion, it should definitely not be a reason to get this cruiser. But if you like what you see here, then it might well factor in considering buying this ship. For me, it was a bit the last push. I kind of wanted to get an extra tier 8 premium cruiser. And I really like this sort of gameplay. Not so much what we've seen up till now, but a bit later into the battle you'll see what I mean. And then the event gave a bit of the last push. Now of course we can see I haven't been very effective at this position. I hope to be able to get some nice cross shots and everything. But clearly it hasn't worked out great for me so far. I've taken a bit of damage myself, I've shot some damage, but nothing too spectacular really, and we seem to be losing the battle quite badly at the moment. So I've got to start doing something if I want to help turn this battle around. I'm now starting to move around the sea gap up north. And what I want to do is see if we can take down the Pensacola that's now moving towards sea. Then maybe I'd be able to either get into sea or move up north even further. I do want to be careful with all of the battleships that are helping out the Pensacola, so I don't want to give broadside to them too much. Just trying to preserve my hit points here. Got the reset on the Pensacola, but right now this is not a very great gunfight, even against the tier 6 cruiser, because he can angle quite well against me. And I don't really want to be shooting high explosive. I would much rather see that he turns broadside to me. Of course, it's a bit disputable whether he'll actually be doing so. We still have got some map length left, so let's just try and make use of that. Now he's showing a perfect broadside, but yeah, not sure if we can make use of it. Let's see. And this is where the P-back can be a bit painful, because shells like these you would kind of expect to always land the citadel, and it doesn't quite happen, and that's a bit annoying, but there's a redeeming factor to that, and I'll get to that a bit later. It's a bit weird though that I actually struggle to take down a tier 6 cruiser. Not the most heavily armored one. I mean, the Pensacola has some armor, but well, he's gone now, so that's good. I take a massive hit from the Massachusetts, not nice. Now I have to see if I can go dark or do I shoot. I decide to go dark. And I will try to start moving towards sea. don't necessarily need to take the cap, since our team is already capping A now, and that's actually looking pretty good out there. But if I can hold off the Massachusetts and Ashitaka from getting too close to C, that would be kind of cool. Now this Massachusetts is going to be spotting me pretty soon. The P-bag has a fairly high detectability. At 11 kilometers it's not really high. For a Russian cruiser it's in fact quite good, but it's nothing like things like an Autogo or whatever, which you can actually use to stealth torp. So you do want to be a bit careful with that. Those torpedoes weren't dropped to the island, by the way. But now I'm sitting here behind the island and I'm thinking, okay, on my left Ashitaka might be pushing in. I don't really feel like combating him up close. On the right the Massachusetts, and again I don't really want to engage him, especially with the secondaries on the Massachusetts. So what can I do? The thing is, at this point in the battle we have 2 caps and I'm in no real hurry to try and win the battle. But I feel quite sure, since there's someone in C now, that my safest option is to go on the outside here and try to face the enemy Massachusetts. I kind of hope that he might have turned around. One of the cool things about the P-bag is that it's got a very strong icebreaker, so if people shoot the bow of your ship, you can really bounce some pretty bad shots if the shells don't land on the deck. That's what we saw earlier in the battle, and these shots kind of went through my deck. You can see here in fact that using AP on battleships works really well at such distances. But yeah, once he starts angling, it's a bit trickier, and you'd actually kind of want to start using high explosive. And I think in this battle I used that a bit too little. Bit of shame there, got some additional shells popping in and they hurt quite bad. So I decided to simply go in reverse to see if we can catch either the Ashitaka or perhaps even the Algerie. And since the enemy Massachusetts is now going away from me, I can simply turn in reverse and then go forwards into C. Normally I really would not want to do this because I'm flat broadside towards the Massachusetts. If I'd be spotted here and he could have a line of shot at me, I would be completely gone. Decide to use my torpedoes towards the Massachusetts in case he decides to steer and follow me anyway. It might be a bit, yeah, I felt like it would be a good idea, but in hindsight I don't know. It seems a bit wild if the Massachusetts would have actually gone there. But if he goes there, of course, that would be really cool. Will be some free damage. Spot the Algerie out in the open, and of course a flat broadside like this, yeah, that's always perfect. And we take him out for his 4700 HP. Now Ashitaka is also taken out. And I decide to pop my hydroacoustic in case the enemy corner is around. Now, for me, the choice is: do I want to try and cap C? Or, yeah, there's the enemy battleships. I don't think I can cap C. So we'll try and rely on the icebreaker, even though, yeah, it's scary to rely on an icebreaker, really. But we'll see how long we can survive, and in the meantime we just try and do some damage. Set a fire there, tiny bit of damage, now switching back to AP. But the shots missed. Now here comes one other special feature of the B-bag, which is the torpedoes. And as you can see, the torpedo angles on the ship are really quite good. Of course, in order to use these torpedoes, I have to be able to drop them into the water without dying. But luckily, the enemy Nagato doesn't do too much damage. I actually shoot him back with armor piercing, which does quite a bit of damage, more than he did on me, in fact. And a gunfight like this, you could actually take such gunfights. My team is instructing me to stop here, and I can understand the concerns, but I try to get some more torpedoes in the water and get some shots. And the first torpedo set is actually looking okay. There's one hit. I'm very lucky to get a flooding in the first hit. Enemy Nagato decides to repair the first flooding. And the second set should arrive now. Yeah, there we go. 3 hits, double flooding. And the enemy Nagato will slowly flood down. Now, of course, this is this is quite a good battle. It's my best battle so far. In fact, I've only just had the ship, but I'm quite sure I can do better in this ship. But all in all, I think it's an interesting and fun gameplay. It's quite engaging. It offers something different to most ships, I think. The anti-air on this ship is also really good, should anyone wonder. And I just really like how versatile this cruiser is. It's not only guns. It can do proper AP, proper high explosive. It can do tanking. It can do some scouting roles. It can do long range shooting with 18.5 kilometer range, but you can also go up close and personal, both with the guns but also with torpedoes. And all in all, I think that's just a really cool mix. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you all later.